auch keinen Namen, die werden nur über die Funktionsbezeichnung.
Hello and welcome, this time not from a little space in Vienna, because I'm actually on holidays and I wanted to give you a little summary because I went to a book fair and now I'm on the island Rügen. It's a German island up in the north of Germany. And I went to the book fair in Leipzig, which is one of the biggest book fairs. I think it's the second biggest in the German-speaking area. And I've already been to the biggest in Frankfurt. That was pre-COVID. That was so interesting and I really loved to see that. And I've heard a lot about Leipzig as well and I wanted to see it for myself. And there is also a book fair in Vienna, but it is just teeny tiny compared to the big ones here in Germany. And it is focusing on German publishing houses and German speaking literature, but they always have one guest country. And this year it was the Netherlands. Last time when I was in Frankfurt, it was Norway, which was just really interesting for me because I am a literature student and I have different focuses, so to say, and one of them is Scandinavian studies with a focus on Norwegian. So that was really interesting. And a funny thing is that next year the guest country in Leipzig is gonna be Norway. Again, they are quite present at the moment when it comes to literature, so I don't know if I'm gonna come here again because it is quite a big journey. I think it took us, I went with my parents by car and I think it was 5 or 6 hours, I believe, from Austria. And my parents don't live in Vienna, so I went from Vienna to my parents' place in Salzburg, and then we went to Leipzig together by car. I think it was around 5 hours, something like that. Yeah, maybe a little bit more. And so it is quite a journey, and the book fair was from Thursday till Sunday, but we arrived on Friday and we had 2 full days at the book fair. And yeah, it was quite interesting. There were so many people. It was insane and quite exhausting. I'm really tired right now and I'm so glad that I still have 1 week of holidays where I can just rest and relax. And yeah, maybe I will do a little writing holiday vlog, but I'm not sure yet because like I said, it was so much to see and to, process when you are at big fairs with so many people. It's always exhausting, but definitely worth it. And yeah, I don't even know where to start. So I gave you a little summary of what the book fair is. It's huge. It was 5 big halls and they were all focusing on the different book publishers and stuff like that, but there was actually one whole hall from the Manga Comic Con that was at the same time, and that was just so cool because all the people who dressed up in their cosplays walked through the rest of the book fair area and you could see them in their costumes, which was really brilliant. There were some amazing costumes. And I tried to film a little bit at the book fair, but I really don't feel comfortable feeling in public spaces. And I just don't like holding my camera into people's faces. So I really tried not to film people. So I don't have a lot of footage of especially the people in costumes. I just think it is, I don't know, uncomfortable to do that. It's not very nice to do so. I've experienced it myself when I was dressed in historical clothes and I was walking through parks in Vienna, and people just started filming me without asking for my permission, and that just felt rude and really uncomfortable. I don't know. So I tried to avoid doing that, and so there's only a little bit of footage just to give you an idea of what the book fair looked like, but I tried not to film people too much. Hello everyone, I just arrived in Leipzig in my hotel room. It is really lovely, and the highlight is probably the TV with the fireplace. As soon as I turned on the light, the fireplace turned on. Very nice, and it is quite spacious, and I think I'll have a good time in here. Bathroom, I don't know, sometimes people like to have room tours. So that's just a toilet and a bathroom and me again. So I think we're gonna get some food and explore the city a little bit. It is a little bit rainy, but quite nice, and we'll see what the rest of the day will bring. And I don't think we'll go to the book fair already today because we're quite tired, and maybe it's nice to just see a little bit from the city centre first, and then we'll check out the book fair tomorrow and the day after. So we'll see. Saturday, and I'm going down for breakfast, and then we're heading to the book fair for the first day. This is my outfit, and I'm very excited to see how the book fair is because I have never been here, and we'll see. The Netherlands are the guest country, so it's focusing on the Netherlands. I don't really know much about the Netherlands as a literature country, so it's going to be quite interesting. And yeah, I hope my hairstyle is not going to fall apart. It already looks a bit, I don't know, not very secure. And yeah, let's have some breakfast and then go to the book fair. Good morning. It is the second day and we're going to the book fair once again. It is Sunday and I'm really looking forward to it because it is quite big and we haven't seen some of the halls, so we're going to do that today. I chose another nice little outfit with a cravat today, and this is how I'm going to attend the book fair. And we'll see if there is some more stuff to explore because yesterday was already pretty nice. And I'll talk to you later about all the details. This is just a quick good morning. We walked through the Comic Con area just to get an idea, and I really thought that there was a lot of mangas and comics that you could buy, and there was another hall where you actually could buy them, but the main area was just basically merchandise and fan articles, and I didn't realize that that was the main thing of the fair. And I think it's really interesting, and there are probably some really cool things, and I do know what it means to be a fan of certain things and also to enjoy cosplay and merchandise. I do understand that, but most of the stuff was just plastic, and I find that so sad, especially when it comes to costumes and when everything is just plastic and the worst material. And that was a little bit sad, but I think the people were quite excited, and it's just so cool when all the young people gather and come together over one thing they are excited about. So I found that really interesting, and that was all happening at the same time as the rest of the book fair. And there was, like I said, the general publishing houses. There were a few very big ones and some very small ones, just all the book publishers represented from all over the German-speaking countries. And there were some from Austria, some from Germany, So yeah, and then there was also the antique book fair section. That was so cool. I love to see that, just old books and really old books actually. And that was a very interesting thing in Leipzig, the city itself, because we didn't see much of the city because we just didn't have that much time. We focused on the book fair. It was the first time that I went to Leipzig, but the the first thing I realized was all the different bookstores and also antique bookstores, which was so cool to see. I knew that Leipzig was a really nice place when it comes to literature, but I didn't know that it was that present. I really enjoyed that. And yeah, antique books are just a very special thing for me. I'm not a collector myself. I barely have any old books. I would love to, but it's just very expensive, and I feel like I'm not ready to pay that much money, especially not without a proper job. So I'm not collecting, but I just love to see old books. I find the idea that it has been there for so long just so cool, out of a material that can just get destroyed so easily. And also the idea of how much handcraft and work it needed to print a book back in the days. And yeah, it's just fascinating for me. I'm a really big fan of antiques and anything of the sort. So that was lovely to see. I didn't buy anything because there were some really expensive books. And they also checked your bag when you went out of that special antique area to make sure that no one stole anything. And yeah, then there were lots of readings and, discussions about books, and the program was so dense. There was so much to see, and you just... like last time when I was in Frankfurt, I had a little bit of a plan where I wanted to go because I loved Norway and I had a bit of an idea of the Norwegian literature. So when I scanned the program, I already knew, oh, this is interesting to me, I want to go there. And then I planned my trip around these events. And this time it was different because I didn't really have an idea about the Netherlands literature field. So I just went there with my parents and we just sat down wherever we felt like this might be interesting. I feel like the Netherlands weren't that well represented. I don't know, it might be a mixture of just not well represented on the one hand, but on the other hand, definitely me not knowing a lot about it, because like I said, with Norway there was just my interest and already a lot of knowledge. So when I saw certain names or topics on the program, I already knew, oh, this is interesting, I want to go there. And with the Netherlands, it didn't really open up to me that easily, but my parents said the same thing, and that was a bit sad. I mean, it wasn't a big problem because there is so much going on, and we saw several different readings from German speaking authors, also from an Austrian author, and that was really interesting. And yeah, there are also always some international book publishers represented, and mostly European, or I think, I'm not sure if it's only European, not only European, but mostly. And yeah, that was really interesting. But we definitely, with the readings that we went to, we focused on German speaking authors just by accident. It just happened because we just walked around and felt like, oh, this sounds interesting, let's sit down and listen. So that is just a really nice thing, that everyone finds something that they are interested in. It is also quite an interesting phenomenon that romantasy is a genre that is just so, it's booming. It's wild. I didn't know because it's not a genre that I'm into. I love fantasy, but romantasy is just not really my thing. But the queues to the sections with the romantasy books, they were so long. They had to wait for I don't know how long, but definitely a while to get to the books, and then also get signatures from authors. That was quite interesting. I didn't know that the market for romantasy was that big. I knew it was big, but not like that. So I always find that really interesting to see what the majority of people likes and what the interests are. So yeah, that was a lot to take in, and so many interesting books, and I wanted to read them all. We did buy a few. I can show you what we bought later, and I bought one from a Netherlands author. She has published the book like years ago, but in not in German, like there's no translation, and yeah, they translated it recently, and I bought the book, and I'm really looking forward to it. It's not going to be my holiday book read, because I started with one of Haruki Murakami. I forgot the English title. Is it Kafka at Shore? I'm not sure. And I started to read that, and it has a lot of pages, so it will probably take me even longer than the holidays last, but I'm not going to start with the new book. But it's just such a great feeling to be surrounded by so many books, and you can buy books at the fair as well. And the difference between Frankfurt and Leipzig is a little bit more focused on just the general public people going there, while Frankfurt has 2 days that are closed, and they are just for what's the word? I can't think of the word. Just, I'll pop it in here somewhere. So it is focused more on the people who work in the literature field, like publishers, and for them to connect and have like business. It's more focused on the business, and yeah. So that is a little bit of a difference. And I also think, even though Frankfurt is bigger, that Leipzig, there are more people attending because it is open to the public. Even though it is shorter, it's only 4 days, and Frankfurt is 5 days. I don't know. There are some small differences, and I think for me personally, I found both of the book fairs just equally interesting and great, and Frankfurt was a little bit more my thing because of the guest country. I really loved Norway being the guest country there, and that was super interesting. But just from the city itself, Leipzig is so much nicer than Frankfurt, and I think just because of that, I would probably prefer to visit Leipzig again compared to Frankfurt. Another thing that I just love about any kind of literature events is just to see other writers and get inspired by that. So when we listen to authors read from their books, it was sometimes I wasn't even too interested in the book itself, but I loved how they just sat down in front of people in a surrounding that is quite difficult, because there is a lot of noise and people, some just pop in, they sit down for a few minutes, and they realize, oh, I'm not interested, and then they walk away again. It's like a festival where there is a constant movement and noise and stuff going on around you, and they just sit down and manage to talk and read and find that really, really fascinating and great. And I love to appreciate their work and just see what other people manage to do, and that inspires me as a writer myself. That was just really great. Imagining to sit on one of those stages maybe one day. Who knows? That was just really, really great. I also met a friend there who is working for a publishing house, for an Austrian publishing house, and that was just really lovely. She always gives me some insight on what's new and interesting at the moment, so that was really cool. Yeah, I loved it, and my parents did too. I actually wanted to go with a friend first, and then she didn't have time, and I told my parents, well, I would love to go, but I don't know who might come with me because I don't want to go alone. And my parents were like, well, we actually wanted to go on holidays, but what if we just go to the book fair and then go on holidays afterwards? And so we did that, and it was just brilliant and they loved it, and we had a really good time. Also, we saw like the city center of Leipzig, which is just like really, really small parts of the city. We just got a glimpse of it, but I really loved it. We went to a lovely cafe and to a really good sushi place. That was also great. And yeah, we really made the most of it. And yeah, I'm gonna enjoy my holidays now, drink my tea, and maybe go to the sea later because we're super close to the sea. And yeah, I'm really enjoying that, having time to read and to do a little writing. Also, I brought my essay with me. I think this is going to be a repeating story of me telling you that I actually have to do university work. I'm currently writing an essay around 25 pages long about the dialectology in Norway versus German-speaking countries. And I'm really glad when it's finished. It's sociolinguistics is interesting, but not my expertise, and it's not super easy for me to write about this. I'm definitely more focused on anything literature related, so I have to do this. It's mandatory, and I brought some work here and I have to do it. But besides that, I'm gonna read in my book Murakami, and I hope to get some writing done. And yeah, I am gonna finish my tea and then make a little walk outside in this beautiful area and let all the things I saw and experienced from the weekend in Leipzig sit and sink in. And I hope to see you next time, and hope you have a lovely week until Easter, if you do celebrate Easter. And yeah, I'll see you around. Goodbye.